I'm Suzanne Sabilla. I'm the owner of Sabilla and Associates, which is the premier leadership and employee development company. Overcome obstacles, reframe your reality, love life, and have growth goals. Change and shift your energy. Pivot. Welcome, everyone. I'm Suzanne Sabilla, your host of Pivot Now, where we bring on interesting, exciting, and dynamic guests who will share with us their tips, tricks, and life and business hacks to help you pivot in your life. I am so excited to bring this guest on our show. She is absolutely phenomenal, and you're going to love her. So you got to watch her show all the way to the end, because she's going to drop gold nuggets, a lot of tips. Let me tell you, this is going to be so great. I'm so excited about it. So let me tell you about her. Okay, she has a background in sales, and she's a sales expert and a keynote speaker, very dynamic keynote speaker. And she was considered an underdog growing up. So she would take, cans and bottles and salvage them and get money for them. And then she would sell used furniture in her apartment and Kool-Aid in the summer months to pay for her education. I mean, how cool is that, right? I mean, that's like sales right there, sales 101. And she ended up getting mentored by a real salesperson that was, told her a lot, taught her a lot about relationships and about connecting with others. And so she also has a podcast show called The Rule Breaker. Love that title. So welcome to our show, Kathy Walterhouse. Welcome. Woo! Let's bring it on. Kathy. I love it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's so great to have you on our show. So we talk about pivoting. So we want to hear from you how you pivoted in your life or business. Tell us about it.
Well, I can tell you that I have pivoted many times. And I think that's actually one of the secrets to my success, because when you see something that's not working, you can't just keep on digging in. You have to make a pivot. So I would say my very first pivot was when I realized that it was okay to be different and to think differently. And that's what the professional rule breaker is all about, is really challenging the status quo, the conventional wisdom, and really looking at what can I do that is different and disrupt the status quo.
Wow.
So I would say that's my biggest pivot.
I love that. That is so cool, Kathy. I mean, to disrupt the status quo, right? Because a lot of times, especially when you're in a corporate environment, I know we both have worked in corporate, it's kind of like you got to follow the corporate rule, right?
You do, but you can bend a little here and there.
And I love that, because as an entrepreneur, you got to go against the status quo, right? That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at some of the most successful entrepreneurs in this day and age, like the Elon Musk, the Richard Branson of the world, and you can even go back, Edison, for example, every single one of them disrupted the status quo. They think outside the box, and they don't wait until everything is perfect. They just go, they learn along the way, and, of course, keep on gathering information along the way as well, maybe making some little pivots here and there. But because they are so interested in whatever their end goal is and disrupting the status quo, they've been able to come up with businesses that maybe wouldn't have existed before. And in Edison's case, electricity, right?
So true. I mean, I don't know if you know, like Jamie Kern Lima, who developed It Cosmetics, and
Mhm.
she sold the company to L'Oreal and was like
Yes.
the first CEO, woman CEO in 100
Right.
years, right? And she talks about that, like, you're not crazy, you're just first, right? You're not
Right.
crazy, you're just first. I love that. So it's all about breaking the status quo. Wow. So how do you go about doing that?
Well, I mean, the first thing is you have to be who you are. You have to be authentically you. Don't put yourself in a box.
Mm,
I'll just give you a little bit of example. I think is one of the things that kind of triggered me when I was very, very young to maybe be a little bit of a rule breaker. It was actually something I saw on TV. I was probably in second grade when this happened. And all I can remember, I can't even tell you what this commercial was about, but all I saw was a girl in, I think she was in a truck, but I'm not 100% sure. She's racing across the desert. Her hair is flying all over the place. And there is a teacher saying, draw within the lines
mm.
over and over again. And I never was one that liked to draw within the lines or color within the lines. And at the very end of the commercial, she is with her hand with whatever she was using. I don't know if it was a crayon or what, just, scratching and just doing her thing. So you have to be authentically you. People will
Mm.
remember you if you are authentically you. Because I think sometimes people think, they need to fit in the box. Like in the corporate world, for example, do you notice how many people wear blue suits?
Yeah, true, right?
Right?
Uh-huh.
So you go in to see a client and you're one of many salespeople that go in and you're wearing a blue suit. And it's okay if you love blue suits, which is perfectly fine. If that's your style, go and literally just rock it. That was never my style.
Uh-huh.
So I would wear plum suits, red suits, whatever it was. I also remember there was a gentleman that I worked with, and he had these, and we worked at that time for a very, very large, very conservative company.
Mm.
And he would have these glasses that were colored. I think they were yellow, if I remember correctly. He had spiky hair.
Uh-huh.
He looked like Bono from U2. So I can tell you right now, every customer, they would remember him and they would remember me. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to wear something different, but just be who you are because people are going to like you for that.
Oh, I love it. That's fires and hearts right there. I love that, Kathy. Be you. Be you, boo, right? Be
Yeah, that's
authentically
right.
you. I love that. So this part of our show, we call it 3, 2, 1, go. And so we want to hear from you 3 tips,
Okay.
2 strategies, and 1 action item to pivot our lives forward. And
Okay.
we're going to hear from you after our commercial break.
Hi, I'm Kelly Melissa Reinhart, host of Make Mental Health Matter. Join me on Mondays at 11 a.m. and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on the Achieve TV network right here on E360 TV.
Welcome back. We're here with Kathy Walterhouse, and we're going to find out from Kathy. 3, 2, 1, go. We're going to find out 3 tips, 2 strategies, and 1 action item to pivot our lives forward. So let's go, Kathy. Let's go.
All right. All right. I feel like I need to run through this. Okay.
I know.
Okay. So first off, know that you are enough. Know that you don't have to know everything and stop putting other people on pedestals. Because I have noticed with some of the people that I coach, they're like, why would the CEO or why would the speaker want to hear from me? Just remember that they put their pants on every single day, just like you.
Mm.
Secondly, have vision. Have a vision of where you want to be and make it a non-negotiable. So making it a non-negotiable means that once you set up that vision, nothing is going to get in your way. You're going to jump every single hurdle. You're going to do every single thing to get there. And then my next tip is know where you are right now, because you need to know what your vision is and where you are right now. And in that in between is the gap that you have to conquer. And there's a couple strategies, I would say, about how to conquer that gap. So the first strategy is and these are really simple, but I think if entrepreneurs just did these things, it would make a big difference in their business. So know what is working, know what you're good at, and know what is working. So let's say, and I'm going to step back a little bit. So let's say right now your sales are $10,000. And remember what I said about the vision. So let's say you have a vision of $100,000. So if you know what's working, focus on that. Focus on the things that you know are working. Then you also have to know what's not working. What is standing in your way? Because a lot of times, maybe you might have multiple product lines. Let's say one is really, really successful. Then there's these other ones that could be costing a lot of money, that is taking a lot of time. Maybe there's no traction in that particular product and you're wasting resources in there. So if you were to focus on the things that are working and figure out how to amplify those, then your business is going to grow. And I know that sounds simple, but go back to your business today and really just take a really quick look, examine what's working. Okay. What's not working, and then see what you can do to get rid of what's not working.
Excellent tips. Yeah, because a lot of times, as an entrepreneur, we're like so into it all, right? And it's so good to really look at your vision and see, okay, where do I want to go right now? And really, where am I at this point, and what is the gap? And I love that you're saying too, is like what's working and what's not working. Because if it's working, you don't need to fix it or change it or anything like that. Because a lot of times you want to let's do something new or something added to it. It's like, if it's working, why change it, right?
Right. It's almost that
working.
shiny, that shiny thing, that shiny object, mentality. Ooh, this person's doing this. Maybe I should try it. But yet I have this other thing that's working really, really well. Really dig in and really focus on what's working. And then once you got it up to a level, maybe you can expand it, but still make that the basis of everything that you do.
Yeah, great. So then what are the two strategies?
Okay. So a couple of things. I want people to think about sales differently, because people think sales is slimy, or they might be really scared of selling. So there's a couple things. When you have those feelings, and let's say it's stopping you, you're really just focusing on yourself. You're not focusing on your customer at all. When you I call it an about face, where it's all about the customer, then everything changes. You stop feeling slimy. You stop feeling scared. And you can almost just take a breath and just listen to the customer, find out about the customer. And that's really key, because I would say 80% of sales is knowing your customer really well. And once you know that customer really well, you're going to see that, it's a lot easier to sell than what it was before. Plus, your revenue is going to grow. And then, secondly, I like this saying that leaders eat last. Now, you're probably thinking, what on earth does that mean? And what does that have to do with sales? So for me, sales is all about inspiring your customer to go towards their goal, to get away from, in essence, pain and go towards pleasure, right? Go towards something that's possible. So you don't want to be going in there going, okay, if I get this sale, I'm going to make, $20,000 in commission, or I'm going to make $1,000 off of this sale. Again, you're focusing on yourself. You need to focus on your customer, solving their problems. And then, like I said, leaders eat last. You're going to be leading them to solve their problems. Then you'll get your commission. Then you'll make money.
Love that so much. That is so right on. So on target. I remember when I was younger, right? And I was in a sales type role, and I was thinking like, oh gosh, I could be making this much money. And it was like more like sale. Okay, I got to just go out there and just like sell, right? And then I wasn't making the sales, right? But when I was really more thinking of the customer and what their needs are and what their wants are and what their problem and their pain points, and building that connection with them and that relationship and that rapport, it shifted so much. And it's
Absolutely.
like sales is really service. Like when you're serving your customer, you're really like in their head, so to speak. You like know what they're going to say even before they say it. Because
Absolutely.
you know them so intimately, so to speak.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying it's wrong to make money and that it's wrong to have goals of how much you want to make. But if that's the thought you have before you go into the customer, you're probably going to struggle a little bit.
Yeah, so true. So true. So what's the one action item we can take to pivot our lives forward or business forward?
Gosh, it's hard to kind of drill down just to one, but I think this is the thing for me that has worked is that just go for it. Just do it. Stop waiting. I had this conversation with one of my customers earlier this week, and he was talking about, because he's an entrepreneur, and he was talking about all these things that he wants to put in place before he calls the customer. And the more he talked about it, I realized it was almost like a little bit of a safety blanket that he was almost procrastinating because he wanted everything to be so perfect, and he was afraid to pick up the phone to call the customer. And I said to him, just do it. You have everything you need. Just do it. Pick up the phone. And I actually set up a goal for him. I was like, okay, I want you to set up today 2 appointments with potential clients. And I don't care how long it takes you to get those 2 appointments. I want you to set up 2. And it doesn't matter if they're, it's always best, if you target your ideal customer, the one that makes the most sense. But for him, I felt like he just almost needed to get it out of his system. So I'm like, I don't care who they are. Just set up 2 appointments.
I love that. I have a mentor that would say, just, do it before you're ready. Because a lot of times we're like, oh no, I got to do this, and I got to make sure like the website's, really great, or I got to make sure that I, got these elements in place or whatever it is, right? And it's just like, just do it before you're ready, or like, I got to be ready. And so then you procrastinate even more. And I love that. Just do it. The whole Nike saying, just do it.
You know what? I think Nike stole that from me because I was saying it long before, at least I think, long before I heard it from them. So, yes.
You heard that from, okay, Nike, you heard it right here.
That's right.
Happy Walterhouse.
Give it back to me.
Came up with that. Do it, right? Just do it. I love it. So how do you overcome obstacles? Because a lot of times we deal with obstacles or challenges. So how do you go about dealing with that? How do you manage it?
So let's just say in sales, when a customer is putting up obstacles for you, I think it's better to prevent the objection, the obstacle before they have the time to bring it up. And how do you get there? You get there by asking the right questions. I'm going to use this analogy that your customer, think of your customer as an iceberg. So what you see of your customer is just 20%, the surface. Even they might tell you, I want something. I want a lower price, or and sometimes I'll be like, I don't want to spend too much time, whatever it might be. They're going to tell you something they want. So where you need to get in an iceberg, 80% is underneath the water. And that, if you can get to that level with your customer, that's where the gold comes. That's when they start telling you all of their problems, the inside skinny of what's going on in their company, maybe, what their desires are. And then once you have those things, and there's really a simple question to ask. Why? When they tell you something, you ask the question, why? And I know that may be oversimplified, but if you ask them that question, they're going to give you an answer. But you have to really listen, because somewhere in that answer, it could be from their body language. It could be from something that they say. They're giving you a little nugget, a teeny little nugget. You grab hold of that little nugget and you reframe the question again in basically another way of saying, why? Like let's say somebody says, I want a lower price. And then you could say, I totally understand you wanting a lower price, but tell me a little bit more of why you want that lower price. Okay, so they'll give you a little bit more information. And eventually you're going to be peeling the onion back to the point where, and I can tell you right now, the other people that are trying to sell to them, they're not doing it. They're not doing that. They're staying on the surface. So once you peel through the onion, that's when you take your customer by the hand and start painting a picture of what's possible. And you're going to see that they get excited about the possibility, because they're probably thinking, nobody can help me with this. Here's another salesperson coming in, whether it's by Zoom or it's in person, or even like if it's something transactional, on like a website or something like that. When you get to that point where you know so much about them, they're really going to get excited. So leading them to the next step gets a lot easier.
Yes. Love it, love it, love it. So how can we find you, or where can we find you?
So you can find me either as Kathy Walterhouse on all the social media, but also I'm known as the professional rule breaker. Also on all social platforms, we have a wonderful podcast. It's top 10 globally in the world.
Wow. Woo! Yes. Let's go, Kathy. Let's go. Top 10. Oh my gosh.
Yes. And it's called The Professional Rule Breaker on every single streaming platform. And then you can also go to my website. I have a little gift for you. You can go to theprofessionalrulebreaker.com/ultimate. And you can get what is the ultimate sales starter guide to just get you started on there. And then if you are really struggling with something, you can also go to theprofessionalrulebreaker.com/strategy dash session. And whatever your problem is, we're going to hash it out. and I will have fun doing it.
Wow. I love it. This is so great. This is so cool. I love it, Kathy. I love it. And we'll have all of your social media and how to get a hold of Kathy after the show as well. We'll have all the links and the free gift as well after the show as well. So thank you so much. This has been fabulous. Just love it so much. And all that you provide, this is so great. So you also do one-on-one coaching then? Is that?
I do. I absolutely do. I have one-on-one coaching. I do group coaching as well, for companies as well. And sometimes I have places that want me to look at their current sales strategy right now to kind of find where are all the bugs, what's happening, why are things not working in the right direction.
Yeah. So find Kathy because she's your sales expert and she can help you make those sales and find your ideal client. So, and thank you so much for being on our show. And we really appreciate it, Kathy. This has been
Thank you so much,
fabulous.
Suzanne.
Yeah.
It's been fun. I love your energy, Suzanne.
Well, it's been so much fun talking with you. So this has been great. And thank you for watching our show. We're here every Tuesday, 10 o'clock Pacific time, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Live life abundantly. Pivot now. Change and shift your energy. Pivot